Welcome to this week's episode of 5. We're going to give you 5 storytelling ideas for Star Frontiers. Let's blast off. Before we get into this episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button, give us that thumbs up, and hit the bell for notifications when we post new content. Star Frontiers, published in 1982 by TSR. Star Frontiers was the TSR's version of a science fantasy, their take to compete with popular science fiction tropes that kids of the age loved and were familiar with from shows like Star Wars, Star Trek, 2001, and more. The game itself takes place in a spiral galaxy that's unknown if it's the Milky Way galaxy or not, but in a sector called the Frontier. There were 4 races that players could choose from. They included humans, Dralicite, Vrusk, and Yazarian. Compared to science fiction of the time, the alien races were pretty unique to Star Frontier's game system and offered some really cool ideas that were very alien to what we expected playable characters to be like for a science fiction game. These 4 races together had formed the United Planetary Federation, or UPF. In the game, the map and setting were particularly vague, with quite a bit unexplained and marked as unexplored. This allowed the game master to fill in the blanks based on the adventures that they wanted to present to their players. As for classes or roles that the players could choose from, there were several different selections, but the default was to act as agents to the Pan-Galactic Corporation, exploring the frontier and fighting the aggressive incursions of the worm-like race known as the Sathar. Now, later editions did add further races which the players could assume, and included the Huma, the Ifshit, the Ossakar, and the Mechanons. Play system was based on the percentile system, primarily used 1d10 for most of the rolls, skill checks, and gameplay. When first released, the game system really focused on planet-side or inter-ship interactions of the PCs and NPCs. It wasn't until a later release called Nighthawks that ship operations and mechanics were fleshed out in more detail. With several modules released and stories listed out in Dragon magazine, Star Frontier was a unique and different RPG from the most popular game of the time's Dungeons & Dragons. However, players of the game were quick to find out that it wasn't just going through and dungeon delving. Murder hobos really left the party as a whole in dire straits if they went that route. Quickly became apparent to talk first and shoot later. As for the system, it's quick and easy to learn, great for beginning players, and easy to pick up for experienced RPGers. One of the biggest pros of Star Frontiers is you can still find a lot of materials online to download for free with PDFs, imagery, and at a lot of local game shops, you'll still be able to find some of the classic products available, including miniatures, maps, modules, and the rulebooks themselves. And because the system was built to be an entry-level sci-fantasy game system, it's not as heavy to get into as other games such as Traveller. With a little suspension of disbelief, you can be charting the unknown sector along the frontier in no time. So if you're looking for a fun, entertaining, unique, and different RPG that has a science fantasy twist, I highly recommend checking out Star Frontiers. And for story ideas, there's such a wealth of opportunity to pull story ideas from content that'll be very familiar to you. So here are my 5 storytelling ideas if you're going to be playing Star Frontiers. Number 1, while exploring one of the uncharted worlds, coming upon some wreckage that the Sathar are also after. By having this wreckage be of a prominent battleship, securing the weapons, armor, and military-grade equipment will be very important for the Pan-Galactic Corporation. By being hired by the Pan-Galactic Corp and having to go and salvage the goods before the Sathar get there puts time constraints on the characters quickly getting into character, finding out how to work together, and utilizing skills to either engineer the crashed ship to take off, salvage the goods into their own ship, and fight off an incursion by the mysterious Sathar. Number 2, fresh new contact. Exploring worlds that have never been contacted before really requires not only bravery, but possibly really good skills to talk with and develop relationships with other races. By being the first people to establish a first contact, gaining trust, respect, and an opportunity for the Pan-Galactic Corporation is going to be key in establishing a foothold, being able to do further operations, whether it be mining or some type of agricultural endeavor with the local populace. Smooth talking is going to come in very key. Not only will your characters have to be suave, intelligent, presentable, but show that they're not hostile for the local population to establish relations and build an opportunity to integrate the new species into the UPF. First contact stories can be quite intriguing, especially when characters get to explore skills that they don't in common firefights. Story idea number 3. While preparing to investigate an unknown planet, a space station orbiting needs to be explored. Once the player characters are aboard, systems begin activating. The robotic defenses of the space station initially attempt to appease and assist the characters while they're exploring the space station. Quickly finding they're not compatible, the space station itself may attempt to defend itself. The players will have to deactivate the systems, defend themselves from attack, and ultimately show the computer hive mind controlling the systems that they are not only a threat, but can offer utilization for the UPF and allow the station, completely automated, to be serviceable for the different races making up the UPF. There's nothing wrong with a good old fight. While taking leave and relaxing in some downtime, a surprise Sathar attack on a peaceful planet shows the incursion of the worm-like species trying to get a foothold further into the galaxy. The PCs will have to defend those who are helpless and unable to defend themselves from the worm-like creatures who are not only mysterious and alien, but aggressive and destructive. By having to fight their way to defend themselves and the community that they're relaxing in, they can show the locals that the UPF and the Pan-Galactic Corporation are there for support, help, and can drive further races to join the UPF. Number 4, pirates attack. While cruising through the frontier, the ship could be attacked by a pirate ship, quickly springing on the PC's mode of transportation, attempting to overtake the ship, take control, commandeer goods and equipment, and blast the PCs out an airlock. The pirates of the space lanes can be just as deadly as those of the high seas. Having to defend themselves and their ship from the pirates and pirates' attack should lead to good combat opportunities, possibly times to keep the pirates at bay, persuade them to choose another target, or abandon their quest altogether. Idea number 5. Being blasted off course and finding themselves on a strange, unexplored world. The local inhabitants, which seem to be very friendly and giving, are actually a race who are trying to kidnap and cocoon the PCs, download data from their ships, lure in more people from the UPF to store for both slave labor, food, and an ultimate means to escape their own system and attempt galactic control. They're my 5 storytelling ideas if you're looking at playing Star Frontiers. If you're a fan of science fiction movies such as Ice Pirates, Flash Gordon, Life Force, Alien Nation, Enemy Mine, Galaxina, The Last Starfighter, or similar sci-fi movies, I think you would enjoy Star Frontiers and highly recommend you check it out. Join us next week as we explore 5 storytelling ideas for a different RPG system. Until then, enjoy. Thanks for watching our video. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to hit the subscribe button to help us grow. And here's another video that we feel you might enjoy. Until next time, help us answer the question of where will your adventures take you?